Welcome back to In Pursuit 360. Sorry it's been a while, but yes, I'm back. I'm still here. I really haven't gone anywhere. Well, I kind of went somewhere, but we'll get into that later. So today we're going to be talking about grass. No, not the weed stuff that's becoming legal and decriminalized in so many jurisdictions these days, but we're going to talk about the proverbial grass on the other side. And so that's what we're talking about on In Pursuit 360. So let's get into it. All right, welcome back. In Pursuit 360, here we are. We're going to talk about the grass being greener. And is it always greener on the other side? You know, we tend to get caught up in our own little world in where we're at, and we identify all the negative things that are going on around us that tend to make things not so good, not so happy, things that kind of make us stress out a little bit. In the world that we're currently living in. And, you know, we always start thinking, oh, it might be better somewhere else. It might be better doing something else. You hear stories about, in law enforcement, other agencies. They've got more toys. They've got newer toys. They've got, their guys seem so much more happy. So the grass seems greener on the other side, right? So, like I used to tell my guys at the Pentagon when I was in charge of the field training program, I used to tell them, look, there are problems no matter where you go. So the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Almost every lawn has some brown spots. That's how I used to put it to them. I don't care how great everybody says it is or what you're hearing or, they use it as like a recruiting tool. If they see you as somebody they like or they want, of course they're going to build up their agency or their department or the area that they're in, trying to recruit you to come over. They like you, they want you to come over there. Maybe you'll help make the grass really greener. But you got to be careful, because just because things seem not so great where you're at and you're hearing about how great it is somewhere else, you're going to be interested in going there because the grass is greener. I can tell you there is not a lawn in law enforcement where it's pure green. There are brown spots, brown blades, brown whatever in every lawn. No agency is perfect, just like not every cop is perfect, right? So there are going to be some tough spots. So what you're going to have to do is you have to decide, is this where you really want to be? Are your long-term goals going to be met at the agency that you're currently at? Do you see a path forward? Is there a way that you can affect cultural change in the agency that you're with that can make the grass greener? Or do you really need to go somewhere else? And this is true in law enforcement, private security, or any job. I don't care if you're a computer programmer, if you work at Home Depot, Lowe's, a bank, any job, anywhere. We always get to a point in our lives where we wonder if the grass isn't greener on the other side. So keep that in mind. Have an open mind. Decide, is there something that you can do to make things better where you're at? When I was at the Pentagon, I always thought that when I was in charge of the field training program, I used to tell my guys that, this is the time and the chance to really affect a cultural change. Some of the people that had been there for a long time, including command staff, had been there for so long. They'd become such a buddy-buddy system that they were kind of getting away with what they wanted to. And the younger guys that were coming in were seeing it, and they couldn't get promoted. They couldn't get ahead. They couldn't go anywhere because the whole buddy, who's going to support who system was kind of winning out. And so I felt that by taking over the field training program, that all these new officers that were coming in, I could influence them. I could kind of push them to affect a long-term cultural change. And I used to tell them this on a regular basis before they finished the field training program, that they've got to be able to push through, that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Every lawn has brown spots. I don't know if anybody else said that before me, but I feel like I made it up because I didn't hear it anywhere else. I came up with that one on my own as far as I know. So there are always brown spots in the lawn. The question is, are you able to push through? If you like where you're at, can you push through? And over time, by dealing with new people that are coming in, can you create a cultural change to the agency or department or the place that you work? Are you able to do that? Are you strong enough? Can you stick it out long enough to make that change? I know that in my 3 years as the field training commander, I put some ideas in some young officers' minds about making a cultural change. And I told them, I said, I'll never see it in my time at the Pentagon. They might see it in theirs. But if they keep pushing and pushing and pushing, the new officers that they'll be responsible for in a few years, they'll probably see it. But it takes time to affect cultural change to turn the grass greener on your side of the fence. So, do you want to take the time to make things better where you're at? Or do you want to take the chance and roll the dice and start over somewhere else and find out if the grass is really greener? Or does it have more brown spots than where you just came from? So those are decisions you have to make. And again, this is law enforcement, private security. I've been working private security for almost the last 4 years now. And, you know, I've gone from one company at the last location that I was at where things were questionable. Smaller company, didn't have a lot of money, you know, type of thing. And they were doing everything they could to hold on to this contract, but they lost it, right? And so I'm thinking, okay, new companies coming in, multi-billion-dollar international companies coming in, we're going to have some change. We're going to have some real cultural change because now this big corporation's coming in. This international corporation is taking over this contract. It stayed the same. They didn't change the leadership. And I'm going to go into that on a whole separate leadership video because leadership is so critical in the color of the grass, right? I am telling you, we went from a lot of big brown spots to almost a completely brown, dried out, arid, nasty yard. I mean, we're going back to Dust Bowl days. They've got people leaving left and right, and it's terrible. So we went from a lot of brown spots with some green to just an arid desert. And the place is just falling apart, and the corporation doesn't know how to handle it. They have no clue. It's amazing to me that this multi-billion-dollar international company has no clue in what is really going on at this location. If you notice, I haven't given up the company name. I haven't given up the contract site. None of that. What I can tell you is I'm not there anymore. I sought greener grass. It's one thing to wonder if the grass is greener on the other side. It's another to say, I just want to find some green grass somewhere. So I am now with one of the largest private security companies in the world. I'm back in the world that I know and I love, and that's training. So the grass on my side of the fence right now is extremely green. It's extremely tall. I got to mow it on a regular basis. I'm having a good time. I'm back in training. I'm influencing people again, and I'm making a cultural change in the area that I'm in. I'm not going to tell you the company, not going to tell you where, or any of that. What I'm telling you is that sometimes you have to make that judgment call. Can you affect change where you're at? Have you tried? And if you've tried and not made it, are you really able to honestly look at something and say, you know what? The grass here is too brown. I can't make it here. I can't survive here. I need to find something else. But then understand that if you make that decision to try that change, and you're going to go somewhere to find that greener grass, you know, you're kind of rolling the dice sometimes. You got to be careful because sometimes that grass isn't always greener. Sometimes you got more brown spots than where you just came from. So you got to really step back, take the emotions out of the equation. Just like when you're working the street, right? Can't let your emotions take control of you when you're out there dealing with people. You can't let your emotions take control of the decisions you make on looking for that greener grass. You need to take a few minutes, take a few days, take a month or two, whatever it takes. Step back, take a good, hard, honest look, and figure out, can you make it where you're at, or do you need to go ahead and make a change? So, with that being said, I wish you luck. Make sure you take the time to evaluate everything that you need to evaluate. And sometimes if you've got to make that jump like I just did, everything happens for a reason. Like I said, I'm now back in the world of training where I belong. I'm making differences. I'm making changes. I'm affecting the area that I'm in, the regional area. I am starting to completely revamp the training program here, and I think it's going to make a really positive change. And quite honestly, I'm looking to move up. Grass is pretty green where I'm at right now. So take a good look around you. Figure out what color your grass is. And do you need to make that change? Or can you add a little fertilizer where you're at and make it a pretty good green yard where you're at right now? So until next time, make sure to hit that like button. Smash that little thumbs up thing. I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. I need more subscribers. And I promise you that I'm back. I'm strong. I'm happy. And I am going to make more content that's here to help you advance yourself in your law enforcement, private security, or just whatever you choose to do as a profession. Almost everything I talk about is going to be able to be applied to anything that you choose to do. So I'm here for you. This is In Pursuit 360. Like it, subscribe, hit the bell notification for my next video, which will be coming out very soon, and I'll see you soon. Be safe out there.